Hello and welcome back to Yapping About Sports. And on today's show, I'll be going over the Detroit Tigers 4-3 loss to the Chicago White Sox, just some other MLB scores to keep an eye on or other teams in this American League wildcard picture, and then end with some fantasy football talk. So, Saturday afternoon, the Detroit Tigers fall unfortunately 4-3 to the Chicago White Sox. I believe it was Anthony Kay would get the start for the White Sox, and it would be Troy Melton for Detroit. Troy Melton would struggle in this game, I believe only going for 4 2/3, would exit just not the best of stuff, fell behind in counts, and the backbreaker was Colson Montgomery hitting a 2 RBI base hit down the right field line with 2 outs. There was one awkward play in this one where Torque had a chance at with 1 out in the inning. Runners on first and third. Ball hit to Torque. Torque has a chance to throw down to second or even touch first and throw down to second, or could have turned the double play between first and second. Chose to throw home, saved the run, but then 2 runs came home after the fact, I believe, if I remember that one correctly. Troy Melton once again struggled. Drew Summers would be the pitcher that the go-ahead run would come in off of. Andrew Benintendi would have the go-ahead run or RBI base hit in the top of the 7th. Hudson would come in and close the game for Chicago, and that would be all she wrote. Pretty simple of a ball game. Chicago has now played better than the Tigers 2 straight games, has now extended their American League Central lead from 2.5 games to 4.5 games. The Tigers now sit a half game outside of the American League wildcard picture after spending less than 48 hours inside in that third wildcard position. So just a lot of frustration mounting for Detroit. You had Jackson Jobe and Troy Melton with a chance to possibly be within a half game of the division lead entering Sunday afternoon, are not able to do so, are now almost double the amount you were behind entering play on Friday. And you lose with Jobe, you lose with Melton, you now have to rely on Drew Anderson. And so far there has been the consistency that we once had in the starting rotation is not there these last couple of starts. Has been there since June. Still a good record since June, but we have not seen the Tigers falter 2 games in a row quite like they have these 2 against Chicago. Offense I'm not overly concerned on, but the one concern is just injuries. You look at the most recent Tigers medical report, still 14 Detroit Tigers listed on that name, or names listed there for Detroit, and names like Jack Flaherty, Justin Verlander, Parker Meadows, Wenzel Perez, Matt Vierling, James Outman, all names that have been playing at the major league level, and the 2 major ones that are sorely being missed right now. I know that he was in a slump, but so is Dylan Dingler, is just in an almost identical slump as we saw Kerry Carpenter on before Carpenter went back on the IL. But if you add Kerry Carpenter and a healthy Riley Green back into this lineup, and you can get some power out of Carpenter, you can get all-star level play from the outfield from Riley Green still. If your outfield can consistently be a matchup of these 4 names, Kerry Carpenter, Ben Malagiri, Riley Green, and Max Clark, and Javi Baez. If you're mix and matching those 5 names in your outfield, and you have Colt Keith, Javi Baez, Kevin McGonigal, and Hao-Yu Lee on your infield to complement Spencer Torkelson, you have Dylan Dingler and Eduardo Valencia behind the plate, and you have a starting rotation that can at times and at their best be anchored by Jackson Jobe, Troy Melton, and Framber Valdez. Oh yeah, with Kader Montero giving you some of the better pitching you've had out of starting rotation arms this season. And I guess Drew Anderson, I'm not going to entirely hate on it, but it's a clear 5 out of 5 in this current starting rotation. That is why I'm highly concerned and sort of questioning what they had with Justin Verlander. I know you can't predict Justin Verlander not to be healthy, but to be midway through August and to him not even be like relatively on the timetable, he was supposed to pitch on Easter and once again on Father's Day, and there's been no progression with that. I know he's the oldest player in the league, and I know that he has the history, but right now he is not helping the Detroit Tigers win baseball games, and that is what you need right now. So we'll see if he's able to give I don't really know what the betting odds are, but I truly just don't feel like we're going to see Justin Verlander toe the rubber for the Detroit Tigers this season. I think that it was cute that he was able to throw 3 innings, but I've watched those highlights back 3 times, and I just want to see more of Justin Verlander in a Detroit Tigers uniform, and I want to see him at Comerica Park one more time. I would like to see him have a send-off. I was at Miguel Cabrera's final game at Comerica Park. Just would like to see some of these Tigers legends be able to step off the field one final time in person with my own eyes instead of watching as a lot of other people will be through a television screen. So Tigers, once again, is there some level of concern right now? Yes. 60-63, they're now outside the playoff picture once again. Really have hurt their chances at trying to win the American League Central. And I know that the Guardians won 6-1. I believe that the Twins lost. I know that the Orioles, I believe, won. There's a whole bunch of scores to be had and be jumbled. It was quite the afternoon. I know the Texas Rangers, with their 5-3 win over the Athletics, are actually able to secure that final American League wildcard spot for the time being. So without further ado, it is quite a short episode today. I am just tuckered out. I've had some technical difficulties. This will be my 3rd time trying to record tonight's episode. All that I am focused on is that the Detroit Tigers still have a chance to make the postseason. There is still some optimism with how the offense has looked, and just survive until your offense is healthy, but you can't really say that because they've never been healthy the whole entire season. They still have 14 names on the IL as I am currently recording this episode. Tigers fall on Saturday 4-3. Drew Anderson will start. They are 4.5 games back from the Chicago White Sox in the American League Central and now sit a half a game behind the Texas Rangers for the 3rd and final American League playoff picture. Thank you all again for watching and listening to Yappin' About Sports. I will be back at Comerica Park on Sunday afternoon and gearing up for a big-time college football and NFL slate. I have some games in store that I'm hopeful to make, especially on the college football side of things in September. We'll wait to see how things shake out before I plan out my October and November. But without further ado, thank you all again for listening. Go Tigers, go Michigan State, go Detroit Sports. I will see you all again on Sunday.